I'm Lily Anderson here today on WJHI. Today we'll be speaking with Colonel Bob Benning, Jeffersonville High School senior JROTC instructor. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Colonel Benning, you have been selected as the Jeffersonville High School School Teacher of the Year. We wanted to spend a little time today talking about that.
That'd be great.
All right, so I have a few questions for you today, sir. The first one would be, how do you feel about being Jeffersonville High School's Teacher of the Year?
Well, first off, when I found out, I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting that at all, but also very honored because I know we have some great teachers at Jeffersonville High School that do some fantastic things here. And being able to be the Instructor of the Year, I think it's a great reflection on our Air Force JROTC program because our kids do so much and they're recognized for that from our PT teams to our academic bowl teams, to our drill teams, to all the community service that we do. And so it's a great reflection on the program overall, and it's something that I always like to highlight and like to take that opportunity to highlight. So greatly appreciated being the Jeffersonville High School Teacher of the Year, and it's a great honor to be recognized as that.
Yeah. So how did you think that your time in the Air Force contributed to you as a teacher?
Sure. So I did 25 years in the Air Force before I came to Jeffersonville High School, and I've been here for about 8.5 years. When I was in the Air Force in different career fields, I often gravitated towards training. So would become, for instance, in space operations, would become an expert in my field, and then would take over as training. And so I would work with other individuals to let them know how to work the systems. And I continuously did that throughout my career. I had an opportunity to do ROTC at the college level, so I taught at the University of Illinois and went there and was able to teach there. And an extremely rewarding experience to be able to do that and teach at the college level. Later, I went on to one of our graduate courses, completed the graduate course, and then was asked to stick around as a teacher. So I was teaching at the graduate level just a year after I'd completed the course. And again, something that was rewarding, enjoyed doing that, enjoying studying up on what I was going to teach, becoming an expert in that area, and then being able to do that. Ultimately, or not ultimately, but at a later time when I was a squadron commander, that was always my goal, is to be a squadron commander, and I was at the Air Force's Squadron Officer School. That's a leadership school. And so here's where now I'm getting that other opportunity, not necessarily to teach in the classroom because I had instructors under me, but making sure that they were prepared. And then consistently in the Air Force, one of the things that we do, and I've done throughout my career, either having a mentor or being a mentor. And so when you find out the impact that you can have on individuals, that's one of the best things about the job, is finding someone maybe that worked for you, that you influence, and then later hearing from them. So I had, as a lieutenant colonel, I had majors that were under me, and then years later I'd find out when they were full colonels, where I received my rank, and you get a note or you get a phone call from them, and they thank you for what help that you gave them in being leaders, and that's extremely rewarding. So the mentoring aspect, the actual classroom teaching aspect, all that factored in and made this transition not too difficult.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so why did you ultimately decide to become a JROTC instructor besides that?
Besides that, yeah, and so that was really the main reason, is when my career was over and we decided to retire, we were in Washington, D.C., and at that time I was an intel officer and was looking at government jobs, there, and I know you know Mrs. Benning. She always said Washington, D.C. is a great place to visit, but not necessarily to live. And we had already been there for about 4 years. And so we didn't necessarily want to stay there long term. And JRTC came up as an option for me after retirement. And so it was something I actually got excited about, because while I enjoyed being in the intel career field, I'd been doing it for so long, I was ready for a change. And so we ended up coming out to the Midwest, because that's where we're from. We're from Indiana and Illinois. And we did interviews at a number of schools here. And ultimately, Jeffersonville High School is what we decided on.
Awesome. So what makes you unique as a teacher?
So I think our program helps to make me unique as a teacher because we have the classroom time, as you know.
Yeah.
And so in the classroom, we have probably aspects that are very standard, just like any other teacher, where we're going through lessons. We'll do our Cornell notes, do our lecture. But then one of the things that's a little bit different than other teachers I don't think do here is our team building exercises. So we try and incorporate those because my job ultimately that I see with the cadets is getting them ready for graduation. So when you all graduate, when the cadets graduate, we want them to be ready at graduation to go out in the community, get a job, maybe go in the military, whatever it is. And so I have that role as a teacher, but then I also see my role to be a mentor, to be a coach, and sometimes I got to be a disciplinarian. So as far as mentoring, that's constant. We do that day to day, and that can be in the classroom, but outside of the classroom, counseling sessions that we have or that I'll have one-on-one with students to try and help them out with whatever difficulties they have. But also, again, that goes back to preparing them for life after graduation. Coaching, we have all our extracurricular activities. You've actually been a member of a number of those, from our PT teams to academic bowl to drill teams. So constantly there after school. Every day we're after school for a number of hours working with cadets on these different teams, different activities. And community service is a big part of each and every one of those. And sometimes I have to be a disciplinarian. Students decide they don't want to wear the uniform anymore. So there's a process that we go through. Or there may be issues where something happens in school. Some people may be surprised at how many teachers will contact me if a cadet misbehaves. So, and they're not misbehaving in my class, they're misbehaving in another class. But I'm more than happy to talk to those students. And it's the same way where we may get an assistant principal where if they have a problem with the student, they're going to call JROTC first if it's one of our cadets. Yeah. And so my whole goal is to talking to students when there is a problem is, let's see, what was the issue? What happened with it? What can we learn from that issue? And then how do we avoid it the next time? So the disciplinary, and then the counseling, which kind of goes along with mentoring. I consistently working with our counselors here with and it may be students' issues, it may be writing letters of recommendation for students to get into college, to what's the best route for this student to graduate. Yeah. Something I was talking about, with one of the counselors today. So I kind of feel our program, as a teacher, making me unique is, yes, I've got the teacher classroom stuff, but being a mentor, disciplinarian, counselor, coach, those are all aspects that I think other teachers here aren't necessarily involved with.
Yeah, I like that. So aside from all of that, what are some of the challenges of being a teacher here at Jeffersonville High School, and why have you chosen to stick with it?
Yeah, so as far as the challenges go, one of the biggest challenges for me was adjusting to high school students. So when I came in, I'm used to teaching at the college level and the graduate level. High school students, it's a different environment. There's different issues to go with that they have that maybe a college student doesn't have. But one of the big challenges, I think, is learning about those students in their home life, because their home lives are all also different, and we have kids that maybe have what we would call maybe a traditional home life where they've got two parents, some with single parent, some where grandparents are raising them, or an aunt and an uncle. We've had kids that are at the youth shelter or at child place. So the challenge is understanding those individual needs. Now, once we try and figure out those needs, what is it that we can do to, again, prepare them for graduation? Or maybe just prepare them to get through their freshman year to their sophomore year. Yeah. So figuring out what their needs are and then making them the best that we can. And you may have heard me, I know I've told this story a few times, but we get, some cadets that come in are super shy their freshman year, yeah. Quiet, you can't get them to say 2 cents, and then by their senior year, they're running things. And that's one of the rewarding aspects is seeing that progression. And that's one of the advantages of my job is that I get to see students, not just 1 year, but 2, 3, and 4 years, and you get to know them. Yeah. And so the last question, why am I staying? That's why I'm staying. It's all about the students and having that impact on the students. And so if I'm having that positive impact and making a difference in their life, then I've achieved, one of my major goals of being here. Just yesterday, it's always fantastic to hear from former cadets. I heard from 3 yesterday.
Wow.
Okay, one just graduated from basic training. One's up in college in Purdue doing fantastic things told me that he's doing engineering projects at the Children's Hospital, or not the Children's Hospital, at the Children's Museum up in Indianapolis. And then the third one is in college, but he's on his internship. So give me an update on how they're doing on internship. Hearing from those students, that have graduated, that makes me want to come back. And I actually brought a prop because I thought you might ask these questions. So if I can, I'm going to take 30 seconds because I want to read a couple notes. And this validates that I know what I'm doing is having an impact on students. So let me just read three quick notes. I promise they'll be quick. So in this one, I have to put my reading glasses on, but we'll get through it. This just says, Dear Colonel Benning, thank you for all that you do. I'm very glad to be in the ROTC program. I'm writing to you to let you know that you have helped me so much throughout the years and have been one of my favorite teachers throughout my school years. Now, the favorite aspect, okay, that's fine, but the helping aspect. This next one from another student, I want to thank you for impacting my life so much. You have shown me how to respect myself and find my purpose. I have learned so much from you, from history to being a leader to others. I find joy in your class every day. You motivate me to do my best in anything and everything I do. And then the last one, and I'll just read parts of it. And this is from a student that already graduated. And so she just getting a letter back from her. And it's actually addressed, as you know, Mrs. Benning's my partner in all this and does everything. So it's actually addressed to both of us, but I'm just going to read you one small portion of it. It says, you two are just amazing. The overwhelming love you have for all of your cadets, past and present, is so beautiful. Thank you both so much. And so one of the things, when you go in my office, you're going to see 2 things on the wall. On one side of the wall, you're going to see all the pictures of the cadets and all the great things they've done, and then pictures of those cadets that have graduated that we're still keeping in touch with. And then on the other side of the wall, you're going to see all these notes that I get. And every once in a while, you have a hard day at work and you got to go back and read one of those notes because then it'll bring a smile to your face because you know you've impacted someone. Right. So why do I stay at Jeffersonville and doing this? What I do every day and what I love doing it is all about the cadets and trying to have an impact, a positive impact on their life and getting them to graduation and being prepared for life after graduation.
All right. Well, thank you, Colonel. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And we would love to hear from you in the future to learn more about the accomplishments that you and the program are all having with Jeffersonville High School.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.